So let's start with the EDA part. So we are going to do exploratory data analysis on the complete data, look into what are the insights that we can find, plot out some really nice graphs, get some insights from it, and then we will build our prediction model. Okay, so let's remove the header and the toolbar. Okay, we have gone through the loading of the dataset, and here we have the dataset where there are 150 rows, 150 data points, and 5 columns. Okay, so let's start with the EDA part. Let me create a markdown cell, create some new cells. Okay, now the first thing that I always do is irish.info, just to know if there are any null values or not, or what kind of data type I am looking through. Okay, so there are no null values and I am dealing with float and integer value. Okay, so that's fine. Next thing I usually do is describe. The describe method gives me a lot of information about the data set. So there are 150 count. Yeah, we know the mean. Here's the mean. The average mean of the complete sepal length is 5.84. If you look into the data set, it's quite accurate, as we have higher value 6.7, lower values 4.6. So the mean should be somewhere 5.84 only. The mean of the sepal width is 3, petal length is again 3, petal width, mean we have the standard deviation minimum 25% of the data lies in 5.1 somewhere, then the maximum, the highest is 7.9. Okay, so yeah, the minimum is 1, the maximum is 6 over here, and the average is the mean is 3. So yeah, that's fine. Now let's do the easiest task. Just do sns dot pair plot. Okay, and let's pass iris. It will take quite a few minutes, probably not minutes, but some seconds to load it out. It depends upon your system, how fast is your system. As of now, I have 16 gigs of RAM in my system and it's running on CPU. Okay, so let's look into the distribution of sepal length with sepal length. So sepal length is, yeah, most of it, it's quite distributed, nicely distributed. Even this is okay. This is something to consider of, but yeah, that's fine. So the graph looks good, but let's do a bit more analysis on it. Okay, let's plot. Let's look into how many values we have for each and every class, so that it is not an imbalanced data set. Okay, so sns dot count plot. Let's pass irish, and we will do class. So yeah, we have 50 points for each one of the classes. So this is not an imbalanced data set. So we should be getting really good values for this data set. Okay, now uh, let's plot a graph between. Let's look into the data set first. Okay, so let's plot a graph between all 3 or 4 of them. Okay, sepal length with sepal width, with petal length, and then with petal width. And let's look into if there is any differences or not. Okay, so let's plot a normal scatter plot first. Scatter plot, and let's give x is equal to, let's pass in sepal length, the complete spelling without an error. Let's paste it, and let's pass y is equal to width, the width of it. Let's copy it, paste it out over here. This also looks fine. Then let's do data is equal to irish hue. Now here comes the catch where we will be putting out hue. Okay, so let's put hue as our class. Okay, you have anything more to put? Okay, let's look. Okay, let's not mention any style. Okay, Okay, let's give the data as Irish. Let's plot it out. Hmm. So here we can see a bit of difference over here. You can see the class 0 is over here. The class 2 is in the right hand side lower, and in the class 1 it's in the lower left hand side. So there's is a bit of difference. Let's look into all of these. If you want to change the style of it, you can just change any whatever style you feel like. So me, this style is just fine for me. You can use color map also. Okay, let's plot few more graphs. Okay, we'll plot a graph between this and petal width, petal length, also with the width. Okay, so over here we see one more difference. Okay, over here how they are correlated. See, the zeroth one is somewhere in the lower left, the one is in the middle, and the two is in the topmost. So what we can say from here, that whenever the petal length is less, okay, the sepal length is less and the petal length is also less, then probably it belongs to the class 0. And if they are in the range somewhere in the between there, then they are in the class 1. And if both are in very higher, they have a very high sepal length and a very high petal length, then probably it's a class, it belongs to class 2. Similarly, let's do it for the petal width, and let's check it out how much it is variating upon. So again, you can see quite similar to what we had above. So we can say that whatever is there in class 0, Septosa probably, yeah, Septosa class has very less of petal width, and also ZM ranging from less to medium sepal length. Okay. Yeah. So one more thing that you could do is you could plot all of these three graphs into a single one. Now, how you can do it? Let's try it out. So we will write plot figure fixed size is equal to 18 comma 10, and let's put DPI is equal to 80. Setting the DPI 80, let's plot a subplot. So plt dot subplot. Okay, 2 comma 2 comma 1. And over here what I can do is I will take the first graph, code of the first graph, and paste it out over here. That's it. Same thing, I'm gonna take this, paste it out over here, take the second graph, paste it out over here, again create a subplot, paste it out over here, and copy the code our we had and paste it out. Okay, let's change to column 2, and then this is the third figure, so it should be giving me a good, yeah, subplot 1 or 3 cannot take uh oops, I missed it out. Yeah, so all the three plots are in a single space now. So from here we can see a lot of information about the data set. So yeah, this looks fine, and that's just wraps up our EDA session. In our next video, we are going to split the data set and start with the training part. Okay, let's catch up in the next video.